Hey guys, it's Chad with Thor's Day in Paradise. I realized that I had never done a video on the Mandela Effect, and I don't really know why I haven't done a video on it. It just never really came to my attention. So, what the Mandela Effect is, or how it got its name at least, is a long time ago. Everyone saw in the news, and it was like big headlines that Nelson Mandela had died. And then years later, it showed him getting out of jail and that he was alive, and everyone's like, what the fuck? I remember the news saying that he was dead. And what had happened is we were just shifting realities. And this happens for a reason. I'll explain it in a minute. I'm going to explain my understanding of what's going on. And of course I think I'm right, but the reason that I think mine's right is because I'm getting the information from the angelic kingdom. A lot of it comes from Archangel Michael, and that's how I have my understanding of what's going on. It could be wrong, but I trust the sources that have come out with the channelings from Archangel Michael. So I've never actually personally talked to Michael about it, but I trust that those channelings were accurate. Anyways, so how I it came into my consciousness about the Mandela Effect was, this is about a year and a half ago. I was watching a movie that I had seen probably 8 to 10 years previous, and I remember the main character of that movie because it was the first movie I'd ever seen with this actor, and that's how I knew who he was now. And I'd seen him in movies throughout the years after that. But I always remember, I remember who he is because of this one movie that I watched. And the movie was Perfume, which is a really cool movie. And so I'm watching this movie, and it's got a different lead actor. And, like the main character was played by someone different. And it was all the other supporting cast, the movie, everything was the same except for that main character was a different person. And so what the fuck? What's going on here? So I kind of started looking into it, and then so I learned about the Mandela Effect, and then so as I had learned it and it had come into my consciousness, I started. I don't actually know how exactly I started coming onto the Archangel Michael's channelings about it, but I know that 2 Easters ago, Easter 2016, we were going through a big timeline jump, and so it was planned out. So I kind of knew that we were about to go through this big jump, and then when it happened, it was bigger than we had expected. We were supposed to jump to here, but the conscious collective, or the collective consciousness of humanity, was so ready for it, and I wish that it was fresh in my head. It was like a year and a half ago, but it was way bigger jump. We jumped way bigger than we thought we would. And I remember hearing about this and reading it in the channelings or hearing it on YouTube, and I didn't really understand what it really meant until I saw a map of the world, a world map. It was completely fucking different. Not completely different. They're still the same shapes and stuff, basically. But Australia is different shaped. It's got like this big square chunk taken out of it now on the northern border, and then South America is way lower than Antarctica now, or is way closer to Antarctica, and it shifted over to the right, and now Australia is way up higher, so it's not technically the land down under anymore. It's not the furthest south besides Antarctica. So just look at a world map, you see what I'm talking about. If you really pay attention, like Italy is way closer to like the European border, and just everything's a little different. South America shifted over right, and it's like further down. Australia is way up higher, and all the islands above that are like way closer to Europe or Asia. And it's just like, what the fuck happened? There's no North Pole anymore. like a physical place. So anyways, these realities have been shifting for a reason. So we're on a timeline where we are going to defeat the Cabal, darkness is going to fall away, and we're going to go into the new golden age of Gaia. Now there's different timelines, right? So the timeline that we were on was not the right timeline. So what we did as a collective consciousness, and with the help of our archangelic realm and God and all that, is we shift timelines. So this is really confusing for a lot of people, because they'll see the map and they'll be like, oh man, I'm going to go find a map from 30 years ago, and they'll think that it's going to be the old map. But the thing is we're in a completely new reality. We're in a different timeline. So the map, the world map, and how the continents are and how the land masses are, have always been like that in this reality. So it's always been like that. You're remembering a different reality. You're remembering a different timeline. And this is actually like really cool and really liberating, and you can see that things are really actually happening. When you look at you're like, holy shit, stuff is really happening. Things are really going on. There's all kinds of stuff. Look on YouTube. I probably should have printed some stuff out for this video. But when it kind of came to me that I hadn't done this video, I just kind of popped on my computer. But like the VW symbol's different. All these different, like it was the Bernstein Bears, now it's the Bernstein Bears, and just stupid shit like that. But it's because it's reality shifted, so everything's a little bit different. Not everything, but a lot of things are a little bit different. And this is the timeline that is in line with our destiny, with sovereignty, the new golden age of Gaia. We are in the reality. So some people didn't come from the same reality that we came from. Some people have been in this reality always. So when they look at the world map, they go, no, that's how it always looked, or that's always how the Ford symbol was written, or the VW sign always looked. And there's just like tons of information on this, or the things that have changed. Look it up on YouTube. There's like tons of videos about it. And so the reason that some people are from this reality and some people came from the other realities is for the fact that if we were already on track, if we were already the person that we need to be in the reality we're in now, then we'll shift from that reality that was on a bad timeline into the new timeline. But if there's a version of a person that wasn't on track with what we're doing as a society going into the new age of Gaia, if this person over here in that old reality we were in, if they weren't ready to be in this reality, if they hadn't progressed enough, or they hadn't learned enough, or they just simply weren't on track with our future, then that version of them will stay in that timeline. And then we merged with the timeline that they've already been in, because they're already on track with this reality. So some of us shifted because we were already the person that we needed to be to move forward. Some people didn't. Some people stayed back, and we merged in. I mean, they're still here. We merged into that reality with them, because they're in the reality. They're on track with what's going on. And so that, because there will be people who will be like, no, it's always been like that. Well, you're just from this reality. And if we're the people that remember things that are different, they are from a different reality. We are from a different reality. The world map, it is like the smoking gun. It is so fucking different. It is just like, you look at it, you're like, oh my goodness. I remember everything being in a different place. And the weird thing is, and this does kind of trip me out, is everything from what I hear. I mean, I never actually got a protractor and a compass and figured it out, but I heard everything was shifted 33 degrees over. And that's really weird, because the Freemasons and everything, like 33 is a huge number for them. 33 degrees. 33 is the number of Yeshua, Jesus. It explains Christ consciousness. Just a bunch of weird things around the number 33, and that's weird that in this new reality that we're in, that everything shifted 33 degrees. So, and the other thing is this morning I got an email from the fairy realm, and so I read it, and there's a bunch of activations in it that you got to read out loud, and I felt it very, very strongly for probably over a half hour, and I was getting just like crown activations, and I just could feel this energy around me. So I'm going to leave a link to that underneath this video. I highly suggest that you click on that, read it out loud. It's pretty short. Actually, I have it somewhere. I printed it out. So it's like 3 pages, but this last part, there's a few paragraphs that you read out loud, and you're gonna be getting activations from it, and it has to do with like self-realization and just energies that you need to incorporate. And I look them up, read them. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna leave the comments open on this one. My last video, I took the comments off because I had gotten so much shit from everyone for stating my truth that I don't want to argue. I don't need to hear your negativity on it. That was just the truth that I was guided to share. So, stay positive. Let me know what you guys think of the video. If you have any questions, I'm very easy to get a hold of. But yeah, that's the Mandela Effect. Pretty cool, and it definitely shows that there's something going on. Check it out. Go look at a world map. Go check it out on YouTube. Later, guys.